The wire clears, the deed records. At this exact moment, you are now the legal owner of a mobile home park. But legal ownership and operational control are two entirely different things. You don't actually control the asset yet. That control has to be actively earned through systematic execution over the first 90 days. If you look at this excerpt from the Institutional Stabilization Doctrine, it states clearly, acquisition is a legal event. Stabilization is an operational event. Failing to stabilize immediately leads to net operating income erosion starting on day one. Tenants get confused, their trust completely erodes, and permit gaps create personal liability. To prevent that chaos, we are going to walk through a complete Day 1 readiness toolkit and outline a strict 72-hour action plan to successfully establish your authority on the property. The objective for these initial months is simple. We are not focusing on growth. We are strictly proving the asset was worth acquiring by protecting the baseline cash flow. A successful Day 1 actually starts 2 weeks before you sign the closing paperwork. As this preparation checklist shows, you need to execute a dual-track strategy. On one side, finalize the administrative foundation, opening bank accounts and configuring software. On the other, have your communication materials drafted. Before closing, schedule a physical walkthrough with the seller. Use this time to map shutoffs, review tenants, and extract historical institutional knowledge. When the morning of Day 1 arrives, you have to be fully equipped. Arriving on the property missing basic materials signals operational weakness and invites immediate problems. This readiness checklist outlines exactly what to bring on site. Notice the strict focus on physical materials, printed announcement letters, payment cards, and a lot map. Pair those physical tools with critical operational documentation, specifically the updated rent roll and utility account numbers. Arriving with this exact arsenal is the only way to establish immediate authority and prevent the operational confusion that causes Day 1 income erosion. Once on site, many new buyers fall into a predictable psychological trap. They feel the urge to flex their new ownership and make immediate changes. This slide defines the amateur trap, thinking, I own it now, time to make changes. This leads directly to tenant revolts and cash flow erosion. Instead, adopt the professional approach. Assume reported conditions rarely match reality. Verify everything personally before trying to scale. To enforce this discipline, follow a strict Day 1 rule. 0 rent increases announced, 0 threats issued, 0 major policy changes, and 0 evictions. Aggressive changes on the first day destroy the foundational trust you need with the tenants. Without that stability, you won't be able to effectively optimize the park later. A professional operator has one job during this initial transition: stabilization. Optimization and aggressive growth are strictly reserved for later phases, once control is verified. You have 72-hour window post-closing to complete the transition through 4 tasks. Task 1, hand-deliver ownership letters to every unit. Task 2, distribute unambiguous payment instructions. Task 3, verify all new contact channels. Task 4, post a public change of ownership notice. While executing this sequence, you can multitask. Use your printed rent roll and a camera to personally verify 100% of the occupancy. 2 key metrics prove stabilization by the end of this cycle: a 90% or higher tenant contact rate, and successfully processing 1 full rent cycle. Executing this exact sequence successfully transitions the culture from the seller to the buyer without triggering a mass panic among your tenants. If you follow these steps, the results are immediate. Your cash flow is secure, the tenants are calm, and your operational authority is firmly established. Looking at the phase objectives matrix, your focus for the remainder of the first 30 days shifts entirely to preventing regulatory exposure by completing compliance transfers and vendor audits. To ensure you don't miss a step, download the complete Day 1 readiness checklist from the video description before you sign your closing paperwork. You cannot optimize an asset you do not control. Master the transition, protect the baseline, and the investment will succeed.